Hi guys. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. Cannot wait to see you later tomorrow. Today, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be reading pages 110 through 117 in the science book. So if you do not have your science book out to follow along, go ahead and get that out. If you would just like to listen to me read to you, that's fine. But then make sure you still go back into the book and complete the questions that were throughout the reading. Okay, so starting on page 110, water on the move. The water that you drink may have once been underground or high in the sky. How does water get from Earth's surface to the air and back again? Earth's water is always being recycled. It evaporates from bodies of water, the soil, and even from your skin. Water exits plants' leaves through a process called transpiration. So I think of transpiration kind of like transportation. Like transportation, if you're riding a school bus, okay? You are getting transported to school. So transpiration is the movement of water from leaves into the air. In the air, winds and clouds can help move water from one place to another. After it rains, this bird bath is filled with water. When the sun comes out, its energy heats the water. The bird bath becomes empty as water changes to water vapor and returns to the atmosphere. On page 111, about 70% of Earth's surface is covered by water. Most of the water is stored in oceans. Water moves between Earth's surface and the atmosphere through a process called the water cycle. The sun provides the major source of energy for water to move through the water cycle. Sunlight heats up water near the ocean surface. It causes water to evaporate. Evaporation is the change from a liquid to a gas. When water evaporates, it forms a gas called water vapor. Water vapor rises into the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the mixture of gases that surrounds the Earth. In the atmosphere, water vapor cools to form clouds. At any time, about 3/5 of Earth's surface is covered by clouds. 3/5, that is a lot. That is over 50%. Page 112. What goes up must come down. What happens to water vapor after it rises into the air above Earth's surface? How does it become puffy white clouds or raindrops that fall on your head? Condensation. Think again of the ocean. Water from the ocean's surface evaporates. As water vapor rises into the atmosphere, it cools. When water vapor loses enough energy, it condenses to form liquid water. Condensation is the change of gas back into a liquid. There are tiny solid particles in the atmosphere. Water vapor condenses around these particles to form water droplets. A few water droplets are almost too small to see. However, when billions of droplets are close together, they form clouds. Clouds can be made of water droplets, ice crystals, or both. They can form high in the sky or just above the ground. Fog is a cloud that forms near the ground. You love fog delays, don't you? Water vapor condenses around salt and dust particles in the air to form these water droplets. Water vapor may condense on cool surfaces too. It's why the cool glass below seems to sweat. Dew is water droplets that form on objects near the ground. Water droplets in a cloud collide and join together. It takes many droplets to form a single raindrop. Precipitation. Air currents keep water droplets in the air, but as droplets and snow crystals grow inside clouds, they become too heavy and fall to Earth as precipitation. Precipitation is water that falls from clouds to Earth's surface. Rain, snow, and hail are all forms of precipitation. Precipitation that falls into the oceans may quickly evaporate back into the atmosphere. Precipitation that falls on land may be stored. It may flow across land, or it may be used by living things. Depending on where it falls, water from precipitation may move quickly or slowly through the water cycle. Do the math. A raindrop is many times bigger than a water droplet and a dust particle. The table shows the size of droplets and dust particles in relation to the size of raindrops. Order the fractions from least to greatest. Okay, so least means the smallest and greatest means the largest. Okay, So use the ordered fractions to correctly label the items in the diagram. Okay, so you're gonna have to come back and do the math. Page 114, where does water go? Imagine a rainstorm. Heavy rain falls on the ground. Some of this water will evaporate from shallow puddles quickly. It goes from Earth's surface directly back into the atmosphere. Much of the rainfall will not re-enter the atmosphere right away. Some will seep into the ground. Water that is stored underground is called groundwater. Groundwater can be found near the surface or very deep underground. Some groundwater may eventually return to the surface at places such as natural springs. Then it moves on through the water cycle. As rainwater soaks into the ground, it fills up spaces between soil particles and cracks and rocks. Water that seeps deep underground becomes groundwater. Groundwater moves very slowly, if at all. Page 115. Not all of the water that falls on land evaporates right away or seeps into the ground. Runoff is water that cannot soak into the ground and instead flows across Earth's surface. Too much precipitation may cause runoff. Runoff often flows into streams, rivers, and lakes. It may also flood low-lying areas. Precipitation that falls in cold places may become part of a glacier. A glacier is a large, slow-moving mass of ice. Water can be stored in glaciers for a very long time. Eventually, though, glaciers melt. Melt water from glaciers can form lakes, flow into oceans, or become groundwater. Melting glaciers can increase the amount of runoff in a place. When glaciers melt, they quickly release stored water. Some of it may evaporate, some may seep into the ground, and some may move across the land as runoff. Runaway water. This picture shows runoff on a city street. Describe how this runoff could move through the water cycle on Earth's surface. So make sure you're looking at this very carefully. We are going to go over this exact question in class because it's very interesting. Page 116. A precious resource. Can you name all the ways that you use water? Flushing the toilet, brushing your teeth, showering, drinking water, cleaning dishes, so much more. Water is an important resource used by all living things. People often need to share and conserve their sources of fresh, clean water. When you turn on a faucet, water flows out. Where does it come from? People can get fresh water from rivers or lakes. They can also get fresh water from aquifers. An aquifer is a body of rock that stores groundwater. People can drill into an aquifer and pump the water to the surface. The water in aquifers can run low if people use more than can be replaced by precipitation. Human activities can also pollute aquifers. States that share aquifers work together to find solutions to these problems. They want to make sure there is enough fresh, clean water for everyone. Okay, look at this aquifer that goes between a little bit of South Dakota, a little bit of Wyoming, most of Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico. That's a lot. That's a lot of area. It covers 450,000 square kilometers and is the largest aquifer in the United States. It supplies almost 1/3 of all groundwater used for irrigation within the United States. Why worry about it? So why do you think that it is important to make sure that we take care of our aquifers? Okay, what did I just read telling you what aquifers do for us as living humans? Page 117. People cannot live without water. We use water for many different purposes, including recreation. Okay, swimming pools, going to water parks. That's what they mean by recreation. Fun use of water. Aquifers are huge underground reservoirs. Precipitation adds water to aquifers in places called recharge areas. The water in some of these aquifers slowly makes its way to rivers, springs, lakes, and oceans. It may take groundwater in an aquifer up to a year to travel only 25 centimeters. Holy cow. Look at that picture of the deep aquifer and how far down the water must go. Okay, that is all of the reading that we have to do today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please make sure you go back and answer the question on page 116, 115, and the do the math on page 113. Okay, I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.